Yeah, not too bad, thank you. Just happy to be back, obviously, training, trying to get back to as much normality obviously as you can. Difficult times, obviously, for everybody, but no, we're pleased to have obviously a resolution to the season and kind of know what was going on, really. I think the worst part was maybe not knowing what was going to happen for so long. That was probably the hardest part for all the boys, really. So to get a bit of clarity on that and an aim of, if you like, of something to look forward to and some dates, and obviously now we're 2.5 weeks back into the training, and obviously a few days away from the first leg now. So everybody's looking forward to it.
And now you've got that clarity as well. How much are you looking forward to the playoffs games? Because the big games, even in the current crisis, when they're not going to be fans there, they're still massive games, aren't they?
Yeah, big games, obviously, big pressure and things like that, which are nice games to be involved in. I've had a few playoff campaigns, if you like, myself, which haven't turned out too great, but they're always great occasions. And as you say, there's just so much pressure on the games as well, which I think we as players enjoy. It'd be obviously slightly strange with the big break that we've had, and then your first game back kind of is a playoff. So it'll be strange. There'll be some difficulties that come along with it, but as I say, we've been back for 2.5 weeks now. We've done pretty much all we can to be as ready as we can be for these two games. And yeah, so I think 2 days away now, and we'll be there, Colchester away, and everybody's as fit as they can be, raring to go and to give 100%, and hopefully over the two legs that'll be enough.
You mentioned there that you were involved in a couple of playoff games before, but both with Rangers and Bradford City. How much can you draw on those experience? And you mentioned as well relishing the pressure of these games. I suppose that's important, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. There's so many highs and lows which you experience over the two legs, and it's just as important, I think, for us to try and keep as level-headed as we can, whatever the situations that pop up and get thrown at us, if you like. We know it'll be two really difficult games against a good side, a good attacking side, lots of pace. And obviously the two league games will probably point you to how close I think the games will be over the two legs. Both games away and home we're drawn, and we're good games, close games, and we're expecting nothing different in these two legs coming up. So yeah, it's going to be tough. As I say, highs and lows. It is a bit of a lottery, the playoffs. It's they say obviously it's the best way to get promoted if you obviously you come out on top at the end of it. But of course, as you say, I've had two or three unsuccessful attempts now. I know the club have as well, so that we know obviously the pain of the playoffs. We're hopeful that this time around, for myself and the club, that we can maybe be on the other end and hopefully come the end of it, come out on top.
Do those disappointments spur you on at all to try and avoid a similar experience this time round?
Yeah, definitely. It's not a nice feeling at all. It's the lowest feeling you can probably get in our sport. Obviously, losing at Wembley it's a horrible feeling, and obviously you have to sit there and watch the other team go up, and just all those things. It just obviously accumulates to a pretty, could obviously be such a special day. It turns out to be a really bad one, and obviously, as I've touched on, our club know as well as anyone how difficult it can be with the two bad experiences in a row. And I've had a few of them myself, so they definitely spur you on, and they give you even more determination that you just don't want to feel that again. They're strange, the playoffs. It's kind of, you do usually a 46 game season, obviously slightly less this year, and they all it all comes down to these three games. So we'll take them one at a time. As I say, we've got a big hurdle ahead of us with Colchester. Hopefully, as I say, we'll have enough to get through that two leg two-legged game and come out on top, and then we can maybe look a little bit further down the line then. But no, for now it's all eyes on Thursday. Yeah, we've done as much as we can. The staff have put on a really good 2.5 weeks work for us to try and be as ready as we can be, and now it'll be up to us as players to try and do our best and carry that out, and hopefully, as I say, it'll be enough.
You mentioned the 2.5 weeks there as well, but I'm sure during the enforced break as well, the players were working really hard to keep their fitness levels up, ready for what could have the likelihood of coming back to the playoffs at that point. How fit are the lads? Do you feel it's like a bit of a start of a season for the boys?
Yeah, I think obviously we knew if we were to come back, it was going to be obviously maybe gearing towards the playoffs, and I think that gives you that extra focus, if you like, knowing that you're coming back for something so huge. I think usually in your off season you do your work, but you try and get as much rest in as you can, because you're coming back to do maybe 6-7 weeks of hard running and things like that, and lots of games to get yourself ready for the early season. And then even with that, you still struggle to be at match fitness. I think you need 4 or 5 league games usually before you start to see people at full fitness. And I think obviously that'll be a factor in these games, no doubt about that maybe not necessarily the first half of the game, but particularly the second half of games. I think you could see in the games that we've had so far that I think with the pace of the game, and then you've also got the nervous energy, if you like, of how big the game is and things like that. It's all going to obviously accumulate into, I don't know, it'll be interesting to see how the second half of these games go. I think the only good thing is obviously it's the same for everyone. All 4 teams involved in the playoffs will be feeling the same. We've all had the same amount of time to kind of get fit and match ready. So there's no excuses there. But yeah, the lads have come back as fit as you could imagine, really. It was kind of a survival of the fittest, if you like, message from the manager, and I think the boys took that on board, and we kind of all wanted to come back fit and show that we were ready, and everybody wants to be in that starting 11 obviously come Thursday. So you've kind of seen obviously how fit the boys are and how much they want it, which is a great thing. I'm sure the manager and the staff have been delighted with the levels of fitness we've shown. And yeah, it's just, as I say, we're geared up, we're ready as we can be, and everybody's ready to give their all, and we'll see where it takes us.
Awesome. It'll also be a little bit strange, won't it, the fact that there are no fans at the game, but I believe you had a practice match at St James's Park last week. How did that go, and how important do you feel that is in terms of when you approach the 2 legs coming up?
Yeah, we did. We've had a couple of training games at the training ground, which were good games, competitive games. And then, yeah, as you say, I think last Wednesday we had a kind of our last 11v11, if you like, of as close to 90 minutes as we could get. Obviously at the park as well, which was good. It was good to get back there. Nice to see some grass on the pitch. I've seen some grass on the pitch there for a while, so I think the boys were pleased with that. But no, it was, as you say, it's good. It's good to be back. I mean, that's what everybody wanted. It's going to be strange not to have our fans there, and obviously the other teams will feel the same when they're playing at home as well. It's, I think in normal circumstances it probably would take a little bit of edge off. I think you can see that in maybe the Bundesliga and things like that. But I think just maybe the magnitude of these games, I think that maybe won't be the case in the playoffs. I think obviously Colchester want it, we want it. It'd be fantastic if we had the fans there with us. Obviously, with everything that's going on, it's not the case. There's nothing we can do about that. I'm convinced they'll all be watching on telly and cheering us on from there. And I know the club have put some good things on with the cardboard cutouts and things like that. And hopefully we can get as many of those as possible. But yeah, as I say, the game's huge anyway. I think there'll still be that edge there, and as strange it will be, the exercise last week at the ground was good, just to kind of get a feel of it. But yeah, it is what it is. We have to get on with it. We'd love to have our fans there. but we know they'll be there in spirit.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, some of them have got their cardboard cutouts there. I suppose that just shows you how much the club means to them in terms of them wanting to be there. And it'd be nice to see a few familiar faces, even if they are only in cardboard cutout form.
Yeah, it will. Obviously, we see a lot of the fans at home games. We see some familiar faces and things like that, and I'm sure we'll see some of them, as you say, in a cutout form. So that'll be good. I believe Colchester are doing something similar as well. I think most of the clubs are going to try and do it. But yeah, obviously it will be a little bit different. Certainly you're not going to get the noise and things like that, which you would usually get in these types of games. But as we touched on, there's not a lot you can do about it, really. It's the situation that we're in. You have to try and deal with it the best you can. But it's important, obviously, that we try not to take that focus away from ourselves and distract ourselves with things like that, because obviously there's such a huge job in hand. So it's important that we deal with it the best we can. It's the same for us. It's the same for all the sides that are involved. But no, I think the general feeling is obviously we're excited and we're looking forward to the games now. We'd love them to obviously be straight away. The lads are that raring to go. So a couple more days training, bit of preparation, and we'll be there and we'll be ready to go.